delighted to have the opportunity to welcome him here today. He is presenting his book, Linda in the Light, which is a true story, a memoir written by him, honoring the request of his daughter as she transitioned from the light into eternal life. And he is going to take us through that journey and talk to us about transformations and lifting the mask between the physical and non-physical, which allows us to experience eternity and to communicate beyond that transition. It is through this book that Dr. Batto introduces Linda's travels and his earthly sojourn as well, and the ensuing journeys that come together in the physical and non-physical. I would ask you to please welcome warmly Dr. Frank A. Batto.
All right, listen, if you paid the $10 admission fee on the way out, you can have it back because there's no slideshow, we don't have PowerPoints, there's no video presentation. So it's here because we're all supposed to be here today. This is where our highest selves want us to be at this point. And many of us have our children next to us and family members. They're here. I know I have Linda and my masters and guides behind me. And when I speak to you, they will be speaking through me and talking to your highest self. So what's very important, you're here because your loved ones want you to be here. You're supposed to be here today. And you have a curiosity. You have a curiosity and a desire to learn how to communicate with your children, and also you want to experience the conscious awakening of the reality of the other side as being alive and truly present. This is a bit of a delicate subject matter when you lose a child, and it's a little bit of a sensitive one, but yet it is a beautiful one to embrace because it's filled with a lot of miracles and laughter, because laughter heals as equally as crying. And many of you have already began your knowing with your children and loved ones in the light. For others, you're here because your children and family members want you to come here, and your guides want you to be here to learn how to begin to experience life eternal as real, and your children and loved ones as alive. As I said previously, Linda asked me to make this a very plain and simple presentation. Her guides and my guides and mediums are all present, so it's a pretty big house, pretty full. And the reason why she wants me to make it a simple presentation is so, I'll give an analogy. We're all on a bus tour, and we're all going to go to Italy and Venice, and a lot of us have been on the bus tour before, so we all know what the Pisa looks like and what the Rome looks like. And there's other people that have never been on the bus before. This is their first time, their first journey on the Italy, so they want to see it. So just think of me as Ralph Cramden, the bus driver. And I have to drive the bus or bribe the bus, and I also have to be the tour guide. So we're going to keep it very plain and simple so that your mind is able to open up. Think of what I'm speaking about as a flower on a spring day. Your mind is open, when like a parachute. It opens up, it works. So I want everybody to take a deep breath and relax, sit back on the bus, everybody drive. We're here because we're more than our physical bodies, and we are more than our physical universes. And your knowings and awakenings are already inside you. Trust them and allow them to come forth. And for those of you who are wanting to experience this, all I say is allow one word that I say today to open up your door of your souls to a new beginning, even if that word is only one little space that starts you on a conscious voyage. Because this is all real, reality. It's here to stay, and we can't ignore the fact that life exists on all levels. And I will take some questions at the end, if people so desire. So I put on my glasses. I'm here before you today as one of a countless number of parents who has lost a child and has to continue to exist on earth and make sense of this horrific tragedy, this unspeakable loss, this heartbreaking occurrence that wreaks havoc with our minds, our souls, our psyches, our emotions, and the insurmountable effect it has on ourselves, our families, our friends, our livelihoods, and our ability to find some ray of happiness and make any kind of sense as to what has happened. As parents, we cannot accept that our child is gone. Everything that is right in this world tells us that it is not fair. I share in a chapter called My Journey what prepared me prior to Linda's transition to understand and embrace her journey in light. We don't realize it, but until it actually happens to us, that our worldly journey, our worldly sojourn, is our training. Born in Brooklyn to a middle-class family, I subscribe to a spiritual law: discipline through excellence leads to freedom. I learned how to play ball, ride a bike, do impersonations, play a musical instrument, by learning from others who had abilities far beyond what I was born with. I respected their knowledge, and I watched and I listened. I have no natural abilities, as does a psychic or medium, in being able to access the other side. I just have a curiosity and a desire to learn how to interact with my daughter and other loved ones in the non-physical, an ability we all possess and can accomplish. I share freely my life experiences, people I have read, or people I have met, books I have read, places I have gone to bring my conscious awakening into the light. All of these things are readily available to the everyday person. If I can do it, so can you. If only one word that I have written helps you to awaken to your individual journey and knowing that I have succeeded. What is truly amazing is that each of you will receive different messages from reading this book based on what your highest self deems appropriate for your understanding and spiritual growth. Simply put, if writing this book helps one person to learn how to experience their child or loved one as truly alive beyond the physical world, that life eternal is real, then Linda and my intentions have been fulfilled. Linda made her transition in the light on Monday, May 7th, 2012. I had no idea or intention of writing this book until Linda asks me to write about the reality, the truth, the continuation of everlasting life, when the following occurred as I documented in Linda in the Light. And this is the book, so you can see very clearly. It's simple, and it's just showing her steps as she comes up and down reality, and something we all can do. And it's a book that we can all understand and experience. So, just wanted you to see what we're talking about. Simple things. I cannot sleep. It is nearly 1 a.m. and I am wide awake. Linda appears, facing me, joyful yet tired. Her earthly embodiment is bathed in a glow of pure radiance, surrounded by a hazy, green, yellow, gold, and white aura encompassing her entirely. Standing next to her are two angels. Behind them, the everlasting magnificence of heaven. I take a step towards her, but I can't go any further, reminded of what Jesus said to Mary Magdalene. Do not cling to me, for I have not yet ascended to the Father. Linda enunciates, death is a gift, and you will write a book verifying life continues without interruption. I shall send messengers to you, and you will show others what to do. You will have documentation, third-party verification. When a child leaves, no matter what age, no matter what the cause, the child is the teacher, and the parent is the student. The veil between the physical and non-physical is lifted by the brief grief process one goes through. We are all free from suffering, Linda says, because we no longer have a body. The human form is an illusion. True love transcends time and space. You have the courage, the capacity to make the journey, to work through the heartache, the anguish, the despair, to complete the mission, the contract all parents and children agree to prior to embarking into mortal existence. But many don't understand, Linda continues. They do not feel their agreement. Anger, judgment of themselves and others, and guilt from the ego all block the miracle of the lifting of the shroud, the beauty of creation, the wonderment of the soul's journey. Our higher selves are all connected. She smiles at me. My heart leaps for joy. Then slowly she glides away, the angels holding each of her arms. I shall see you soon, she announces. As she moves upward, I cry out, I love you. But how do I write such a book? A true story, a memoir, a biography of our lives together in the physical, and her autobiography of her life in the non-physical. Where do I begin? What words do I use? The guidance to write the book was always in me. The tragic, heart-wrenching event of Linda's transition was the catalyst that brought it to light. It was my grief that lifted the veil, which allows Linda to write through me. Your own personal grief will lift your own veil and start you on your own journey. I call Linda the ghostwriter of the book because it is her journey, her knowing, her incredible true story that will change your lives forever. Linda conveys 6 important messages in writing this book. First, death is a gift. Because our grief lifts the curtain between the physical and non-physical. It is not an ending, but a continuation of eternity. We come to see death as a transition, a rebirth, a transfiguration of the soul in the light. Second, everyone is capable of accessing the other side as real, natural, and normal events, even if you have no natural ability like mediums or psychics, or have never attempted to communicate with your children or loved ones before reading the book. This communication is an essential birthright, readily available for all to learn and share. Third, this book is written so that the everyday person, you and I, can understand it, embrace it, and begin our own knowing, our own interactions, our own communications with our children, using our own God-given abilities we are all born with, but need to cultivate and use. Fourth, she provides real, concrete, indisputable, verifiable, reproducible, scientific proof that life is infinite, expounding an unequivocal, common, daily, reproducible encounters, the uninterruption of existence, the verifiability of immortality, and the fact that there is no separation, just a shift from one embodiment to the next. Fifth, the power of prayer. Prayer in the spiritual sense, which is a commonality throughout all religions and belief systems, whether through thoughts, words, deeds, physical venerations, or meditations. Everyone receives the same revelations of pure unconditional love and joy, inner peace and solitude. We are all here to learn pure unconditional joy, and it is this pure unconditional love that raises our vibrations here on earth, and it especially raises our children and loved ones' vibration, which aids their ascension in the light. We must learn to dispel the illusions, jealousies, animosities, and attachments to material wants and goods, for these slow our elevation in the light and cause us to continue to return to this earth life system and not move on to the non-physical existence of life everlasting. I want to share two passages from the book. First, from the chapter called June 2012, and the second from the chapter called The Graduation Party. Linda reveals, Dad, it is important to do the work on your side before the voyage to our side. People think once they leave their bodies, they go to heaven. They must attain higher levels by working on their egos during their physical life, petty hatred, jealousies, animosities. Pure unconditional love is what we come into this life to learn. I am learning these lessons on my side, which is the other side, working with angels, guides, and healers. Pray to me and others who transition to help us in our work to attain the ultimate residence. I bring blessings to all, Linda says. Many loved ones in our lives have come to share at this juncture. All you have to do is think of them right now and throughout the day, because they are here amongst you. By doing this, you help them ascend, and they in turn become empowered to help you on your earthen voyage. Finally, in a chapter titled Live, Laugh, Love, Linda points out that our children want us to heal and go on living because crying and laughter release the same healing endorphins. This allows us to live simultaneously in both the physical and non-physical. It brings us and our children to a greater vibration in the light and allows a sharing of heaven on earth. She explains this very clearly to me in an out-of-body experience in September of 2012. Linda appears to me, Dad, once a soul attains the highest level, it is bathed in pure contentment, infinite laughter, pure joy, true peacefulness and bliss. Let others know we want them to enjoy their lives, to laugh and have fun, sharing the essential gift of humor, a gift only bestowed upon humans. Humor empowers us to grow in spirit, and many beings want to become human because of our levity. The joy of transformation and learning is much greater than sorrow, misfortune, and tragedy, and lifts the veil beyond the sadness. Children want their parents to delight and enjoy. Living, laughing, and loving makes us jubilant, releasing judgment. It allows us to vibrate in the light, to heal your hearts and live inside you. Giving parents the permission to be jovial and happy dissolves the finality, the fear of mortality. You have been blessed with a tremendous talent, your sense of humor, and so have I. Write about the lightness of our travels together. Everyone appreciates the class clown, the comedian by the water cooler. There is happiness in transition. There's the true meaning of our involvement. Instantaneously, I am taken to a movie theater in 1979, watching The Champ. When John Boy dies in the locker room, and Ricky Schroeder tells him to wake up, the entire movie erupts into an hysterical crying fit. Hundreds of people cry in synchrony. Saddest movie ever. But Linda empowers me to recall my actions, thoughts, and feelings at that exact moment. Closing my eyes in the theater, I hear hysterical laughter. It occurs to me the same sound is emoted by two directly opposite emotional responses. Linda reveals she wants me to experience again the same physiological endorphins released via the brain for both of these emotional responses. Dad, it's okay to cry. It's okay to laugh. To be merry is good. It's great. It's normal. No guilt. Just happiness. I comprehend exactly what Linda wants. After all, she is the ghostwriter of the book. Linda stresses in this book that it is very important to realize that this true story, this journey of mine and Linda's, is only one of a boundless number of knowings which are real, natural, and normal. And all of our encounters with our children and loved ones are correct. There is so much more than just this physical reality. No one has a special or superior method of accessing the other side or holds the key to life eternal. We are all celestial beings, and our highest selves takes us on a path that leads to our individual, unique understandings, experiences, and truths. In spirituality, all roads lead to Rome. I hope what Linda guides me to write will resonate inside of you, your own unique talents, gifts, and abilities that will allow you to lift your veil and begin your knowing of accessing the other side. But how do we learn how to communicate with our children and loved ones? I would like to read from the chapter, What's It All About? We must respect and honor our own abilities. We process information differently through our five senses. Some are better at hearing, or tasting, or smelling, or touching. Your dominant sense is what your loved ones will use to communicate with you. Many people remark, if you can't see a soul once they transition, then they aren't alive. But you may have had a sensation they are standing next to you. Or you may smell their perfume, cologne, cooking, or brand of cigar they smoked while they were here. Their favorite song may come on as soon as you think of them, or you may ponder a flower that reminds you of their favorite color. Some of us will even have the hairs on our arms or the back of our necks stand up on end when they brush by. How many times have their pictures moved? Books they've enjoyed fallen off a shelf, numbers they played, or coins appeared out of nowhere. just to get your attention. Even just talking about them means they are alive. Writing helps to confirm your knowing. Reading in your own handwriting what transpires in your daily connections with them brings validation. But most important, our children and loved ones can inhabit our bodies and intermingle with us. Linda has inhabited my body many, many times during our intertwining. We need to cultivate our own innate abilities and become aware of their presence. It can be very subtle. Learning to become sensitive to these subtle events by quieting ourselves allows precious experiences to take place. Be open, for example, to re-embracing the initial movements of tiny hands and feet in the womb, reliving the moments you held and gazed into the eyes of your child for the first time, initiating their return into your arms again. Now you may say, I have no natural abilities. I am not a medium or channeler. We are all born with the ability to access the other side. Remember, this is our essential birthright. For most of us, a shroud drops, and we lose this natural ability as our egos develop. But as children, we all have our imaginary friends. Only these friends are real, non-physical, ethereal beings. I share it all in this book, Personal Life Experience with an 18-month-old Linda. At 18 months old, Linda is sitting on the couch, staring at something in the opposite direction. I ask her, "What are you looking at?" She replies, "Judy Garland." Her answer nearly knocks me over, considering no one ever mentioned Judy Garland beforehand. Linda is too young to watch The Wizard of Oz, old enough only for Sesame Street and the Disney cartoons Mickey Mouse and Winnie the Pooh. Linda's first movie in the theater is Snow White, a surprise outing for her 3rd birthday. We need to stop it.